Researching your legislator. That's absolutely important. We're going to go into these meetings. We're talking with these reps. We definitely need to do it in a strategic manner. Can't be strategic if we don't have the information regarding the representative, right? So, yes. So, welcome everyone. We're going to let some folks trickle in here. And then once we're all kind of settled in, then we can get started with the Mystica. So, we'll give it just a moment. Good crew tonight. Hope everyone's excited. I don't know about y'all, but these last couple sessions, I just appreciate all the knowledge that I'm taking in, or even the insights I've been able to share from my experience. So I've been loving these. So appreciating all the work that's been going into these. Appreciating folks. I'm seeing like a bunch of names that I've seen consistent come each time, and that's really really important. Um, kind of when I think about the 4 C's of leadership that we're developing to, right? Commitment's definitely one of them, and the commitment that I'm seeing a big group of you share throughout this process, I'm appreciating, right? So that's one of the 4 C's. So yay! um, Alrighty, so are folks trickling in? Can we get started? Like, can I introduce the Mystica now? I'm not the one popping to let everybody in, so I'm not sure where we're at with that. Alrighty. Sorry, my husband's on another Zoom and another meeting, so I'm gonna jump out here. So I'm a little bit walking now. So welcome everyone. My name is Tammy Rosing. I'm Tri-Chair with the Pennsylvania Poor People's Campaign and National Call for More Revival. Um, and I got involved in organizing politically, right, in 2017, just because of what was going on at the time. I wasn't somebody that was typically politically active, actually. I was one of the folks amongst the base that the Poor People's Campaign talks about: poor, low income, infrequent voter, et cetera, right? And so I feel like I share that because I'm just one of the 140 million, one of the examples that we can organize the poor and dispossessed, and we can develop into leaders with the 4 C's of leadership: clarity, competency, commitment, and connectiveness. And through these last couple years, I have been able to do that. And I came in through Put People First PA, one of our member organizations, and was really excited about the launch of the Poor People's Campaign that launched in 2018, which encompasses all of our work and is a way for all of us tackling different fronts of struggle, whether it be Put People First PA with healthcare, PA Debt Collective with debt, student lunch debt, et cetera, PAC, Pennsylvania Action on Climate, around climate injustices, Marshall and Harrisburg with corruption and money in politics, MILPA with Movement of Immigrant Leaders in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Union of the Homeless, organizing those directly impacted from the housing crisis, right? The unhoused. And those are just a few examples. And I know I probably missed some, but I'm just giving some examples. And if you've been in past sessions, you've heard about that already. So with that, I think that we're all kind of settled in. So I feel like I can introduce the Mystica. Mystica is something that we've kind of borrowed from the landless workers movement in Brazil, which is the largest working class movement in the world. And they have been organizing for quite some time. And I know I've learned a lot from them, and I admire them so much. And so Mystica is something that we engage in to get us grounded in what we're about to do. And so these study sessions are very, very, very important, right? And this isn't all we're going to do, but it's important to study together. The struggle is a school, so we learn from our struggle, but we also need a school for the struggle. And so that's why we engage in these political education sessions. And so a Mystica is a way to get us grounded so that we can go into the study together and really be focused on what this movement means, what we're building together, When you're in person, a Mystica looks a little different, right? It's very interactive, things like that. On Zoom, we get a little bit more creative because like it's different. So in this case, it could be videos and other things. So with that, I believe it's going to be the song. Um, we're going to lift our people up. And so really, really listen to the words and take it in what they're saying because this song is about us. This song is us singing it to one another and a message that we're delivering to one another and to the people that we hope to bring into this movement. So really listen to the words and take it in and what this song means.
I'm gonna lift my brother up. He is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up. He is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my brother up. He is not heavy. If I don't lift him up, we will fall down. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She is not heavy. If I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, if I don't lift her up, we will fall down. I'm gonna lift my siblings up. They are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my siblings up. They are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my siblings up. They are not heavy. And if I don't lift them up,
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 if I don't lift them up, we will fall down. And I'm gonna lift my people up. They are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up. They are not heavy. I'm gonna lift my people up. They are not heavy. If I don't lift them up,
if I don't lift them up,
if I don't lift them up,
if I don't lift them
if
up,
I don't lift them up, we will fall down. I'm gonna lift my brother. I'm gonna lift my brother up.
I'm gonna lift my brother up.
He is not heavy.
He's not heavy.
I'm gonna lift my sister. I'm gonna lift my sister up. She's not heavy.
No, no, no.
I'm gonna lift my siblings. I'm gonna lift my siblings up. They are not heavy.
They're not heavy. No, no.
If I don't lift them up,
If I don't lift them
I
up,
don't lift them
if
up,
I 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 don't lift them up, if I don't lift them up, we will fall down. Oh, I gonna lift up.
Will go away when you tear down the shelter industrial complex and build safe, affordable housing with decent jobs. We are the national union of homeless, and we will rise.
Tammy, you want to just take us through this this last piece here?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, in today's session, we will learn why we research legislators before we meet with them, how to research your legislature, because that's very important. We need important information, right? Whatever's going to help us guide through the meeting and get the information from them that we need. And a tool that you can use to find out about your legislator before you meet with them. Having met with one just this last Friday, I can say that these tools are very, very helpful. And going in with a clear mind, clear understanding, and vital information on a legislature before meeting them and being strategic with that meeting. Because sometimes maybe you're not necessarily going to sway them with the same understanding and be on the same exact page we are, right? Because I mean, they're indoctrined to believe a certain way, right? But we can still learn and get information out of them if you engage in a certain way. This may surprise people, but a grouping of us met with Representative Lloyd Smucker on Friday, and I can tell you that it is very vital to research and know your legislature and be strategic when meeting with them.
Hey everyone, thanks so much, Tammy, and thank you all for all of the messages in the chat, especially for the uplifting Mystica. My name is Jalissa. I wanted to talk with everyone a little bit about why it's important to research the legislators we're meeting with. I think Tammy, they gave some great examples of why it's important. Another great example or analogy that we've heard is that when you want to apply for a job or you're trying to land something, you are researching whatever company, whatever position you are trying to get. And it's very similar in the ways that we are speaking with legislators and trying to help them understand our point of view. As we all know, they are also individuals, they're people, they also have their own experiences, their own histories, and things that are personally important to them. So, as much research and as much connection prior that we can connect between one individual, one person, one human being to another, it helps us bridge a gap that maybe would have previously been there, but being able to research that, we're able to discover connections, either positive or negative, depending on the situation, on how we can talk to this individual. It's also important to understand any economic forces and entities that they are accountable to. So we'll see in our next slide, we'll start going over the tool, but one of the other key components of researching your legislators is understanding that it's not just about humanity or not just about your front of struggle. There are also external entities and forces at play that we have to understand before walking into these meetings. Because there's also a lot of times where legislators will say, you don't know the political reality. You don't know XYZ. You don't know how to talk to this Republican or to this Democrat. But no, when we come up educated and realize what very well prepared and strategic, as Tammy was mentioned, we're able to defend our bills, our positions, and show that it is the right and moral thing to do. So I'll pass it to Nijmi, who's going to walk us through our toolkit or our tool.
Thank you, Jalissa. And yeah, Jalissa is also a member of the coordinating committee of the PA Poor People's Campaign with MILPA, the Movement of Immigrant Leaders in PA. Thank you so much, Jalissa, for your leadership. So for folks throw up an emoji or show us a sign if you've been here for at least one of the two previous classes, because two previous sessions, because we know that the two sessions that we've had so far have been pretty intense. We've laid out a lot of information and, hopefully also really shined a light on um, what we've learned from our, decades of experience about how things really work, right? We don't want to tell any lies. We want to tell the truth. And we've been trying to tell the truth for the last 2 weeks. And I know it's just for many of us, it's been a lot. It's been a lot to take in. And so we are coming into this third week really thinking about, okay, so what power do we have in our hands, right? In addition to our people, which is the most important thing, and our organization and our ability to build our base and unite our people across the state. We also have tools, right, in our toolbox that we can use as we go and engage with the state, because we are politically independent, but we're still political, right? And we're going to engage, we're going to hold these power holders accountable. And we've got to be smart, right? As we do that, we want to work smarter, not just harder. And so that's why tonight we're going to go into the focus of like, how do we get information on the people that we're going to go and meet with? And I would say that this tool that we're looking at tonight was actually, a compilation of a number of our organizations on the coordinating committee, kind of putting our heads together and seeing what we all use, and then kind of combining all those things into one. And I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that collectively among our organizations that put this tool together, we have, experiences with hundreds, if not thousands of these meetings actually, over the course of many years. And so we've learned a lot from those experiences, and we know that it can be intimidating at first, to go into a meeting or an encounter with a legislator or a group of legislators. And there's a lot that we get taught, and we internalize about maybe not feeling like we're qualified, maybe not feeling like we know enough, maybe not feeling like we're smart enough. But we want to help each other through this process, through this course, kind of shed all of that, um, and have the information that we need, but also recognize that um, we are actually the folks who have solutions to the problems that we face. And we need to be able to feel confident that the folks that are closest to the problem, which is us, are the people who are positioned to put forward the solution. It's not going to come from above, it's going to come from below. We are smart, we are clear, and so we need to support ourselves to really believe and understand that. And this is about like getting those tools, getting that armor, to be able to go in and feel really confident, right? And so I just want to emphasize that as we start, and I hope that that feels empowering, uplifting, and like we're kind of figuring out, right, how do we maneuver on this terrain that, as we've laid out, is not in our favor. So we're going to do as much as we can to really get as much going for us as we possibly can. So we have a tool, and I'm going to screen share in a second, that will help us find and organize information about the person's district, how long they've been in office, when they were elected, their donors, their key issues, who they're affiliated with, some of the other things that are important to know, their salary, side jobs they may have, gifts that they've received, their online presence, and more. So I'm going to quickly just share so that you can see this. And let me move it over. This is a research brief. We're going to be looking at this together tonight in small groups. We're going to first go over it in a large group, then we're going to look at it in small groups. And so there's a number of things here that we look up. Quick facts about the legislator. their bio. And for each of these things, there's a little footnote with a place where we go to find the information. And so tonight we're going to get practice in doing that. We're going to say it over and over again. It's not a test. It's not a competition. This is not school. It does not have to be perfect. That's not what we're going for whatsoever. We're just going to practice, have fun, and play around with this tool. We look at their education, their employers, other affiliations, some of their key issues, the way that they voted, bill sponsorships, some things about them and how they've showed up in the news, their online presence, donors. And so, yeah, those are all some of the things that we look at in this tool that kind of gives us a picture of the person that we are engaging with. It gives us a little bit of a snapshot to understand what's important to them, what their experiences have been, who else has influence over them, right? Because as Julissa said, and as we've been talking about, right, there's an economic reality underlying our political system. There's a lot of forces that are at play. And so this gives us a bit of a picture, right? And we're going to talk about, right, why that matters. And I'm sure that many people here have experiences in understanding why does it matter to kind of know who that person is as a person and where they're coming from as we engage with them. And so now we're going to start to get into it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nijmi, for walking us through that. And thank you, Jalissa, for that really good grounding about why it's important to research our legislators and be strategic about it. And yeah, thank you, Nijmi, for just like that confidence booster. Because I want to stress like researching your legislator is something that all of us can learn and need to learn for the sake of the movement, right? And people in power do try really hard to make information not available to us, and they try to kind of purposely fragment it. But what we're doing tonight is putting all that information together, organizing it, and that's why this worksheet is so great. So I'm first going to share my screen, and I want to do a little poll with everyone. So give me 1 second. Do, 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 do. Okay, launching the poll now. I'm just curious. I kind of want to get a feel, in the room. Who has used any of these tools before? And it's totally okay if you are not familiar with any of them, right? We are all learning together. Totally okay. Awesome, awesome. Excited for people to learn about using the state ethics library, which is basically going over statements of financial interest. Be a good thing to go over. A lot of us have used the Pennsylvania State Legislature website. Awesome. Ballotpedia. Let a few more folks answer. I think most of us did. Okay, awesome. So we've used some of these tools before, and some of us haven't, and some of us have used a combination. And again, that's totally fine. Tonight will be a good, learning experience for all of us, and also a refresher if we've used some of these tools already. So yeah, I'm gonna start walking us through. Let me just share my screen here. So I would love for folks to also read while we're doing this. So if anyone here wants to start off and read this slide, I would love that. Feel free to put your name in the chat if you want to read it all. But first, we're going to go over the Pennsylvania State Legislature website. And we primarily use this. And Nick, just to answer your chat, it's okay. I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to go through the slide and then I'm going to go to the actual website and go back and forth. So I can just share my screen. But we use the Pennsylvania State Legislature website to kind of gather basic information about our legislators. We kind of use it to understand, where in the state they are, what district they serve, their contact information, their previous education, some of their affiliations, committees they're on, that sort of thing. And so you can see here, we're going to be using Joe Pittman tonight as like our example, and we're going to be learning some stuff about Joe Pittman together. So I have some screenshots already, but I'm going to go to the Pennsylvania State Legislature website, and I'm already here under the Senate tab and under Republican leadership. So Joe Pittman is the Senate Majority Leader. And it's loading here. But for each legislator, it'll take you to a screen here, and it'll kind of give you a snapshot of information. So we know here, Joe Pittman serves Senate District 41, which includes Indiana County, Westmoreland County, right, Jefferson, Armstrong. We do know he's a Republican. We have some of his contact information here for his district office and also his capital office. Exit out of that. We can also see here some committee assignments. So we can see here that he's the chair of the Rules and Executive Nominations Committee. And then we can also see here just some legislation that he has sponsored for the 2025-2026 session. So 2 bills, 5 resolutions, right? You can also see here some recent co-sponsorship memos. And also gather some information just about his career and his bio in general. We can see here that he is a lifelong resident of Indiana County. He went to Penn State. That is a good piece of information to know with legislators, right? So just some basic information. This is what we can gather from the Pennsylvania State Legislature website. So if we go to the next thing here, Ballotpedia. So I saw in the poll that several of us have used Ballotpedia before, some of us haven't. Again, totally fine. We use Ballotpedia to sort of determine, again, basic snapshot of legislators, but with like a little bit more info. So on Ballotpedia, we can find out things like how much they make, what's their base salary, what are, the per diems that they get for every day that they're in Harrisburg. When were they last elected? Was it a close election? And just kind of like a general picture of our legislators. So to go to Ballotpedia, I already have Pittman pulled up here, but I will search just to show everyone. I think he should come up right away. And there he is. So whoever you want to search, you just put it in the search bar there, their name, and they'll come right up. And it'll take you to this page here. I'll give you kind of just a general snapshot, right? The district that he represents, when he last ran for re-election. And this section here is pretty useful. So it shows you, right, when his term ends, how many years he's been in his position, along with compensation, right? So we can see that Pittman makes $106,000 a year as his base salary. He also gets a per diem of $185 a day. You can also find some more information here. Note that like on these websites, sometimes the information can be outdated. So like, we're using all open source stuff tonight. I should add that too. So like this here was last updated September 2023. So just be mindful of that. But sometimes it'll show you the committee assignments, sponsored legislation, right? And it can go down here and you can kind of see what was his election like. So he won. That's fine. So that is Ballotpedia. And feel free as I'm going through this, I'm kind of just walking us through these tools and just showing us what we can see on each page. But if you have any questions, put them in the chat and we'll also go through them more in our small breakout rooms. So don't worry if you have a question about something, feel free to ask in the chat or ask your breakout room facilitators later too. So we went over Ballotpedia. So Vote Smart. So we can kind of use Vote Smart to figure out what affiliations legislators might have, along with some of their issue positions and voting records. And have Pittman pulled up here. And you can just really search the politician's name at the top and they will pop up. It'll give you a bio and then votes, positions, ratings, and then speeches. Speeches I haven't really seen on here. But we can go see here with Pittman that these are some of the endorsements that he's gotten from groups, right? So we can kind of see some of the groups that care about him and he probably cares about, right? So the NRA, the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau, United Mine Workers of America. And that's important to know, right? That might come up in conversation if you are meeting with Pittman or one of Pittman's staff. And I think that's mostly it for Vote Smart. Go to positions here. We'll see if his is updated. So sometimes, again, positions are not fully updated on these websites because they're open source, but we can usually find the information somewhere else too, so it's okay, right? So Pittman did not submit information in order for them to use this here, but that's totally okay. And that's all right. We don't have to figure out every single answer when we use this worksheet. It's just kind of an outline for us to use. So moving along here, follow the money. Follow the money is a really useful tool to know what really rich people give money to our legislators. A very, very important tool. It's super helpful to know, right? Like who gave a lot of money to their campaigns in the past. So I have here the result page when you are searching up Pittman. You kind of see here a bunch of different options: general search, candidates, contributor, right? Really all you have to do is click on lawmaker. You see Pittman is here, and it takes you to this page. And you can see here some more information, right? You can see here the amount of contributions received, right? The industries that are related, right? So he's received a lot of money from finance, insurance, and real estate, energy and natural resources, right? And you can kind of get an understanding of his top donors, right? So Students First, PA PAC. You can see a few unions on here. You can see Education Opportunity PAC, right? So we're getting kind of an idea of who's giving money to him. Going back. So bill track 50. So we use this to kind of track bills. You can either track bills by legislators or by the bill itself. So I'm going to go to here. So let's say I was looking for the gift ban bill. I'm curious, has the gift ban bill been introduced yet in Pennsylvania? So I would just use the bill search option, and then I would put gift ban. And I can see here, okay, there is gift ban bill, and I can click on it, and it gives you a bunch of information about it. It gives you kind of a summary of the bill. It includes the text in the bill. It includes what has been going on with the bill, what's the status of it, and the date, so we can see that it was referred to state government on March 3rd, so semi-recently. And you can also see if there are sort of similar bills that have been introduced in the state legislature. And you can also search by legislator as well. So if I put in here, Pennsylvania, let's see, Joe Pittman. If I click on him, he'll tell us some of his sponsored bills. So one of them is naming a bridge. We have recognizing somebody's career, designated February 3rd as for Chaplains Day in Pennsylvania. Just want to say, like, this is the Senate Majority Leader. Just really want to name that. This is a great section to kind of like really see what they're working on and really understanding, okay, what is that bill like actually doing? And this one here, it's not doing anything really to materially change anything for working class people. This is a great resource to see, what are my legislators doing, right? What are they actually working on? So that's Bill Track 50. Okay, statements of financial interest. This is a niche one, but I think gives kind of a lot of insight into corporate capture in Harrisburg and money in politics and the lifestyle of legislators, which I think is a useful part of research to have before going into a meeting. I did not know what a statement of financial interest was before being a part of March in Harrisburg at all. So I just want to say that too, like it's a very new concept to me. I learned it very recently. And it's a useful tool. So I encourage everyone to use this. So I'm going to go to, okay. This is the Pennsylvania State Ethics e-library. It's very simple website. When you get to the link, you just have this search bar. And you can just look up the legislator. So again, we're looking at Pittman. We want to see, does Pittman have maybe any side jobs that kind of are a conflict of interest? Maybe he's received some gifts from some really rich people. And then we can start to see all of the different statements of financial interest. The state website purposely does this to fragment information. They make you download a PDF for each one. For the purposes of right now and for probably a lot of our research, we just want to maybe see the most recent one, maybe go through a few of them. So this here's a statement of financial interest. It's an uploaded PDF of it. And I don't want anyone here to worry about a lot of the stuff here. So don't really have to worry about these first sections. What I really want people to see is line 11, gifts valued at $250 or more in the aggregate. So this is political gifts. And typically we might see some stuff in these sections too. But for the purposes of right now, I just want to see line 11, what gifts has Pittman received? Block 11, right? So that was the gift block. Pittman has received $18,000 worth of golf clubs from somebody named Chris Gebhard. And he's also received another $1,800 worth of golf clubs and accessories from somebody named Joe Rashini. And if I was really trying to dig and research, I might look up who is Joe Rashini. Just curious, right? Oh, so we know Pittman's from Western PA, right? We know he serves Indiana. So I'm guessing this is probably the same Joe Rashini. And he's the president of an insurance company, insurance agency. So something to keep in mind here, right? Like the Senate Majority Leader is receiving $1,800 worth of golf club materials from the president of an insurance company. Useful information to know. And so that is all of the tools. Again, like if you have any questions about anything, please bring them up in the breakout rooms. I know we kind of just did a broad overview of stuff, but yeah. And I am happy to move us into getting into breakout rooms. So in each of our breakout rooms, we're going to fill out the worksheet together, and we're actually going to kind of write some of this information about Pittman. Is that what we decided everyone to do, Pittman, or are we doing individual? Okay, sounds good. I know we just gave some, brief descriptions about him, but again, we can go through these tools together. Each breakout room, we're going to have facilitators who are going to help guide everyone through these tools. And this is a great place to ask questions. We're going to be filling out these worksheets together in our breakout rooms. And this is not about like getting the worksheet done or like finishing before the breakout room ends. It's just about getting used to using these materials, asking questions, engaging with it, saying, this is, a really great tool, or maybe I'm not so comfortable with this. Can you help me? So I want to stress that. And yeah, it's not a test. We're learning together. And yeah, Nick, do you want to start to open up the breakout rooms? We're also going to have 2 facilitators in each breakout room tonight too.
Yeah, and I can whisk folks away and just noting that we're going to try to come back here at around 8:05 Eastern time. I know I saw someone in Wyoming, so adjust that for yourself. But going to whisk folks away. And if for some reason, for any of the faith leaders, if you haven't done so to put that FL, please do. If for some reason you're not in that group, you can jump out to jump back into that one. But I'm pretty sure I put everyone there who did. So we're going to whisk folks away into those breakouts, trying to come back at 8:05, so in about 20 minutes or so. All right, here we go.
Thank you, Nick. All right, so we're gonna get started. As I was mentioning, I know like our group did not get through the document, so please do not feel bad for not finishing. Please do not feel like, oh my God, rush to do this. I know there were certain things where I had actually already looked over the document beforehand and tried to go through the websites, and I missed like the per diem just now, and Tammy had to, Tammy had to help me out. So like no worries. So I want to take some time actually. I know we don't have that much time, but I wanted to hopefully get at least like 2 reflections from each of the groups to see how this worked for you. I know in a large like group it could be kind of difficult, but we were hoping that slowing it down and being able to go through website would be able to help digest a little bit more. And again, the more and more you do this, the easier it's going to get. So please don't feel pressured one way or another. But I don't know if any group wants to start, and then maybe we can popcorn from there. And again, it's just a general reflection on like, how did this tool help? Is there any feedback on it? I do know, again, it is an extensive tool that is going to take some time to adjust to, but overall, like, was it helpful? Was there a specific portion where you got a little stuck?
Well, I'll reflect because I was in Lisa's group and I have done some, legislative, I guess, visits, and found myself feeling like I didn't have enough information to really give a good spiel, whatever that means. I think it is about developing relationships, but as Tammy pointed out, with more progressive Democrats, we're finding ourselves not being able to really get the things that the people we poor and dispossessed and working class and those who give a crap about others really want, and just the larger system, how difficult it is. And I brought up Larry Krasner, going up against Democrats in Philadelphia, our district attorney in Philadelphia, and his being one of the few people who can do that effectively, and just going to the next level, I guess, knowing that we need to do that as well. But I really appreciated your doing the detailed research. It was very, very helpful. Thank you, Julissa, and the group.
Thanks so much, Anna. Really appreciate that. There any other group, and I'll just start calling on groups. There was about 4 other ones.
I was in Michael's group,
Go ahead.
and you know what? It was very informative, and like he said, I could totally get lost on that website, especially Follow the Money for a very long time. And I feel like people are going to really get radicalized when they realize how much politicians are bought. And I hate to say it, but they all are bought. And I know that sounds very negative, but they are supposed to work for us. And we should not be intimidated by them. And it is very intimidating to walk into one of their offices and talk to them or call them on the phone. But to see how they're bought off by money and the way they make their decisions, it's not in our favor, and it never really has been. So yeah, I think to be informed is an incredible tool. And I thank you for showing us that. And I'm definitely going to use it because I want to make a change. So, and I think we should all want to make a change. So, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sally. Yeah, I think it's really like monumental when, as a collective, we see that shift. Like, oh wow, they're really not working for us. So I really appreciate that. Anyone else? There's a couple of other more groups we have.
I can go
Andre?
next.
Go ahead. Please.
I
Can you
was in,
say also what, oh, go ahead, what group you were in, please?
I don't know if we was numbered, but I was in Andrea's group.
Great. Yep.
And so we went over how to research information from Ballotpedia, PA, and different other ones. And I'm pretty much, going to piggyback off of what the other person just said a few minutes ago about, because a lot of organizations, when I go to Harrisburg, we do have our research, and I'm also with Children's First. So we've been, reaching out to state reps and city council. We have to do both concerning what's going on with our after school programs here in Philly, now the year round schools with a lot of parents not liking it. So when we go to Harrisburg, we have to come correct. So we do a lot of research and we have the figures, we have the numbers, but it all boils down back to them knowing that even though we have all these great numbers, they still know that a majority of the folks that vote will not vote. And they're not giving up the finances, the salary, because to them, we consider little peons at the moment until it's election time. So yeah, the elected officials do work for us, but that's a lot of money for a lot of them that didn't grow up with anything. So they're not giving up those salaries, the perks, the privilege, just to do for us. But these organizations that we're talking about now, and you all and all the other organizations that I'm with, what I like about it is we're not giving up. And the more heat, the more pressure, and the more we know, updated, do put a little heat on them, but we got to learn how to turn that fire up. We can't afford to do any more heat. We got to do the fire to where they feel it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Ernie. Yeah, and I definitely agree. Like they're not giving that up voluntarily. Like as a movement is a force, that has to be reckoned with, that we have to push them in order for them to be able, or again, they're not going to want to. That's the difficult reality. And as a movement, that's where we come in and expose and educate and highlight how they are being bought and changing that in between our systems. I really love these reflections. So just because of time, I'm going to ask if, because I know there was 3 more groups that didn't get to share, if there's anything else you learned, anything else that was super, like any of the websites that really resonated with you, or anyone that was really difficult and you're like, I really need to figure out how to use this, please feel free to put it in the chat. We're definitely going to be sending all of these materials out afterwards, so please feel free to continue playing around with it. All of this is at your disposal, and please feel free to continue reaching out to us if there's any questions. So we're going to move forward. I'm going to pass it to Jeff to walk us through on how we're actually going to use this information. Like, okay, now we know we're going in educated, but what are we going to do? So I will pass it to Jeff.
Sure. Thank you very much. So for those of you, well, most of you don't know me. It's the first time I'm speaking in one of the presentations. So my name is Jeff Kaiser. I'm a volunteer with March on Harrisburg. I actually do spend a lot of time in the Capitol doing lobbying. So a lot of this information is like right up my alley. Nick, can we move on to the next slide? So the way we use this information is to get an understanding of what the legislator, what their priorities are. And the priorities are often, a lot about their background, but it's also a lot about who is funding them. So when we're going in to talk to a legislator, the more we know about what's important to them, either because of their values or because of who helps fund their campaigns or whatnot, the easier it is for us to craft a message to them where we can get cooperation from them without saying something that they're going to be annoyed by or resistant to or something like that. So in a lot of ways, you can find good information about Nijmi said earlier, it's good to know that a legislator may have gone to Penn State. So if you have gone to Penn State, you can bring that up as a way to make a connection. with a particular legislator, or if they represent an area where you used to live or whatever, some of that information can help you make those connections. If you know that they are in support of, say, public services or like police officers or fire, if you can relate the stories that you are trying to relay back to something around those topics, that will help them understand and make that connection to your topic that you're trying to share with them. Next slide, please. So if you're not already a part of any of the organizations within PPC, here are all of the member organizations that you might want to join. If there's a particular topic here that interests you, as I said, I'm in March on Harrisburg. We are interested in pro-democracy and anti-corruption. Put People First is interested in healthcare. MILPA is in immigrant rights, et cetera, et cetera. You can see all of the different groups that are part of the PAPPC here. Next slide, please. And then within PAPPC itself, there are different ways that you can contribute to that organization. And each of the other member organizations have similar types of groups where you can work in different ways. You can work in base building, you can work in social media, on the legislative team. Legislative team is where I work, but we have really great people that do social media and all those other types of things. So any of those types of areas that you are interested in is a way that you can help, because none of us knows how to do everything. Each of us has specialties. And then within PAPPC, you can also become a mobilizing partner. So mobilizing partner are the people who get the people out to go to protests or whatever, or go to get the groups of people out to make a statement about a particular issue or whatever. Communicating with the members who want to do those actions, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so that's it for this week. Next week, we're going to be getting a little more technical. We're going to start looking at an actual bill to see how it works, how a bill is written so that it makes a change to the laws that are on the books already. And that will be next Monday at the same time. And yeah, so we're going to pass this off to Michael Badges-Canning.
Okay. So I'm going to take us out, I guess. And I'm reflecting on some of the comments that I've seen in the chat. And so we're going to win when we unite across our differences, across our issues, across our fights. So we need to move out of our silos and move away from our despair to a community, a beloved community. And I'm going to take us out with this chant that the Poor People's Campaign uses. And it's when I say forward together, you say not one step back. So I'm going to ask you to come off mute and let's do this together. Forward together.
Not one
step back. Forward together.
Not
one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step
back.
Okay, guys. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Great
Thank you.
presentation.
Thank
you
you,
all.
everybody.
Y'all.
Bye, everyone. Good night.